Oh my god, look out, there's a vampire in the garden! Oh my god, look out! Right, what's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we are taking a look at another anime review. Today we're taking a look at Vampire in the Garden, which is a 5-episode Netflix anime, which you can watch exclusively on Netflix, and I don't know why it has 5 episodes. First one is half an hour long, the other 4 are 25 minutes long, and you can easily watch it within 2.5 hours like I did, if that's something that you are interested in. But yeah, it's exclusively on Netflix. I do want to apologize though, this video, because I have a sore throat. I have a little bit of a raspy, gravelly voice for today's video, which I am sorry isn't the usual voice, but we need to get these videos out, we need to get on this grind, and the best way for me to feel better is to literally just push through, use the placebo effect, and just get on with stuff, and I should start to feel better sooner rather than later. So I hope that this sort of voice doesn't stick around for any more than a week's worth of videos, but yeah, we'll just have to make do. So yeah, without any further delay, let's check out what Google has to say. So Vampire in the Garden came out in 2022. It's an action, has 1 season, has a 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb and 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, and you can watch it exclusively on Netflix. After humanity loses its battle with vampires, a young survivor named Momo has a fateful encounter with Fane, a vampire queen, and together they embark on a quest to find harmony. So how the story actually goes is with Faye going on this pretty intense mission with a bunch of soldiers. She kills a vampire nest, steals a music box, and then her mum, who is the general of the army, beats the shit out of her, being like, no, what the fuck, music is their culture, not ours, get this piece of shit out of my house. She then runs away, and then Faye finds her, like, oh my god, you remind me of, like, my childhood friend. You want to get out of here, right? You don't want to stay here. You want to find a new life. And she's like, yes. So she's like, come with me. They fly off to a mansion where she gives Momo a new dress. She teaches her how to play piano. She teaches her how to sing, and it's her passion. She loves it. Vampires, for whatever reason, love music, and it's part of their culture, but they're tone deaf, so they can't actually sing or harmonize, which is really fucking weird, but sure, pop off, king. They end up getting caught by the vampires, who are trying to find the vampire queen because they need her to continue the vampire-like bloodline, so they need to get her back, and she doesn't want to. She isn't drinking blood, so she's slowly dying anyway, and obviously the humans want to get Momo back, because why the fuck is she being a traitor and going off with the vampires? That doesn't look good on the general. So the general hires her brother to go and find her, who is her uncle, and he has a badass squad who is like really fucking good with guns, blasters, and lights, because they have UV light, which can burn the vampires. They have swords, they have guns, which basically put the vampires down. The vampires can turn into bats, they have blood-sucking teeth, and they all have white eyes and white hair, so they're pretty easy to find, because they're all grey-haired. So it is pretty easy to spot a vampire, and I do like that about the anime, because it does give you distinctive details on what makes them a vampire, and what they look like, and what they can do. It sets the ground rules very early, which makes it very easy to follow later on. The two main characters, Faye and Momo, end up finding their Eden, which is where they want to go after spending a night in a vampire town where they're all blood-starved, and they all want to kill Momo and drink her blood and, like, just basically devour her. And, you know, she's like, no, we're not doing this. And, you know, they leave. They end up finding Eden, or a version of Eden, and in doing that, Faye ends up leaving Momo because she thinks Momo's happier here when Faye's not around. And then her brother shows up and is like, I'll take you back, don't fucking worry about it. I'll get you some blood. And he flies off and leaves her under a rock. She then gets kidnapped, and they're going to use her body to power the village, which is really weird, but sure. And they end up escaping. The humans and the vampires start attacking. Faye and Momo in the middle of it. Big action. They get caught. Faye drugs herself up, turns into this big demon, kills like everybody. Momo manages to escape, saves Faye's body, and they have a final farewell. Faye dies, Momo goes off, and makes her own Eden in Faye's honor. And that's the end of the anime. Honestly, fucking loved it. It was great. I'm gonna be honest. Art style was a little ugly to start with, but you do get used to it as the anime goes on. And the relationship between these two characters does feel really weird. Like, it does feel a little like lovey-dovey, and a little bit more of like a loving relationship rather than a friendly one as the season goes on. And just seeing them grow and their connection and how they start to learn to trust each other and how they bond over like the basic stuff of like music and stuff in a world full of war and hatred. It's like Romeo and Juliet, that sort of forbidden love, that like forbidden like relationship. I think it is really cool, really beautiful, and it is unfortunate how Faye does end up dying in the end. I think that is really upsetting. But it does leave Momo to have that final push of motivation to make this Eden in Momo's like name, so then they can, live happily ever after with vampires and humans in harmony. Faye's brother was my absolute favourite character. He had a pet pug, which was fucking adorable, and it would go with him everywhere. He had a little woolly hat, and it would just sit on his shoulder and hold onto his back, and it was like a sniffer dog, which surely a pug shouldn't be because of its fucking smush face, but it was adorable nonetheless, and I really did like the pug. The pug was sick. The action was really cool, but it wasn't just there for the sake of it. It was really meaningful, and every fight had consequences and repercussions, which we don't normally get from other shows and movies. Sometimes we just have fights for the sake of drama and to build suspense and tension. The fights in this one were here, and they happened, and they caused injuries which lingered for the other like remaining episodes, with Faye getting shot and she wasn't healing as quickly, and again with her losing so much of her own blood, she started to need to drink other blood, and all of her traveling and her shapeshifting was having an effect on her, which was increasing her decline to being a fully fledged, well, not like a fully fledged vampire, but like a blood-starved vampire. And it was really, really tense and upset, like every time she would sort of go vampire mode and almost kill Momo, but Momo was willing to give up some of her blood to give to Faye, but Faye didn't want it. She didn't ever want to drink human blood again after she saw her best friend die. And there was a lot of like flashbacks in this, but they weren't like full flashbacks. It was just like little snippets of the flashbacks, which we ended up seeing at the end of the anime, and it built up this like mystery of like, ooh, what actually happened in her past, and why does she have this like very strong connection with Momo, and why does she care so much for Momo? Like, what is Momo to her? And I originally thought that like her like general mum wasn't her mum, and this vampire was actually her mum, but no, I was wrong. I was wrong. Momo's mum is definitely the general mum, and it's just Momo looks like her childhood friend, so she felt like she didn't do well by her childhood friend, and wanted to like honor her in this way by helping Momo and giving her her wish of getting to this Eden place where vampires and humans could live together in harmony. One thing which I did feel like was rushed through was the decision where she was like, I don't want to live like this like anymore. I want to leave. Like, too much is happening. It's awful. And it's like, fair enough, your mum did just like beat you, but I do feel like that was a very quick jump. Fair enough running away, but like saying that you don't want to live like this anymore and that it's awful and that like life sucks, and obviously you're going to be like very emotional because your mum just beat the shit out of you, but I do feel like that was a very big jump to conclusion. Like, she seemed very happy here with getting to see her friend, and and having this music box, and I don't know, I just feel like there is good stuff here that she does have, and this was how she was feeling before her friend died, and I don't know. I felt like it was a little bit rushed, and we didn't really get to see why she felt like this. And we could have done with a little bit more of the exploration before we got into her running away with Faye. But again, this is only a 5-episode anime, so you can't really blame it for rushing through some of the aspects. Other than that, I think the pacing of it was really well done. Like, we had one episode where they stayed at this in place. We had another episode where they stayed at Faye's house, and then we had another one where they were obviously fake Eden, and then the final fight in the end episode. It was very well structured and very well set out, but some of the villains were again very rushed. Like, obviously there was something wrong with that fake Eden. There was always some weird shit going on there. Like, nothing is ever perfect in these Eden places, and obviously there was going to be something that goes wrong there. It did seem very, very basic, but I liked the message of this one. Like, again, like, don't just assume that because one vampire is evil that they're all gonna be evil. Like, I know you're in a war with vampires, but just because one is terrible and doesn't deserve mercy doesn't mean another one is gonna be that shitty as well. And obviously with us, it's seeing it from like Momo and Faye's viewpoint, we do understand their side more, and we don't really get to see like the general side or the general's point of view and why she's doing this, or why like the uncle's doing this, until like the last episode again, which we get backstories for everybody and sees everyone's motivation. And again, it's just a really, really good, well-built anime, so I think it's like a solid 8 out of 10.